Hey everyone, my name is Vedant, and me along with Koustuv are going to present our position paper on social and ubiquitous technologies for remote worker well-being and productivity in a post-pandemic world. The pandemic has significantly disrupted the work setting by constraining employees to work in isolation. The remote work setting can introduce new, unforeseen complexities to a worker's behavior. For instance, the lack of social interactions might affect motivation, or the blending of home and work can lead to many unpredictable interruptions. In light of this new paradigm, our work discusses the potential of social media and ubiquitous smart devices to understand and support remote workers. Since physical proximity is known to lead to better worker engagement, the lack of regular check ins or organic interactions can give rise to new challenges for personal management. This article discusses how our prior work with social and ubiquitous technologies can be adapted for this purpose. Particularly, we will discuss four applications which are day level activities, worker coordination, role awareness, and organizational culture. And we will be expanding these more as the presentation goes forward. Our insights are based on a variety of observations from research in the test area project. This is a large scale and longitudinal multi sensor study that broadly aims to passively understand well being and performance of information workers. This project includes various data streams, including wearables, smartphone sensors, Bluetooth beacons, and social media. Along with this, validated surveys served as the ground truth. Now, my co-author Kostu will take over to discuss the major insights.
Hey, I'm Koustuv, and now I will go over the insights. Traditionally, personality is known to be a good indicator of performance, and such trait-based measures are likely to be robust to disruptions. However, our work shows that individual day-level activities such as mobility, sleeping patterns, desk sessions, and even phone use can indicate aspects of performance despite personality. In today's settings, such as the stay at home protocols can constrain or encourage certain activities, and sensing these through worker devices gives us the opportunity to learn and in turn promote favorable activities to support worker productivity. Our work also shows that worker outcomes are associated with how synchronized workplace routines are. Traditionally, in physically co-located settings, workers would be naturally aware of their cohort's routines, such as when their peers take a break and adjust accordingly. However, this peripheral knowledge is lost in remote settings, and today we may want to rethink ways to reinfer and express cohort routines by harnessing data from sources like shared calendars or logging activities on communication apps. This can provide ways for workers to remain in sync with even in isolation. Literature tells us that ambiguity between an individual's role awareness and organizational expectations explain worker outcomes. Remote settings will make it harder for employees to self evaluate themselves within the context of their teams. And at the same time, organizations will find it harder to assess role matching of employees. We found that by leveraging people's self presentation in online professional portfolios such as LinkedIn, we can measure their role ambiguity. And such approaches can help attune job descriptions to work life constraints due to the pandemic. Our work devised a methodology to measure organizational culture by using crowd contributed workplace experiences shared in online spaces such as Glassdoor. In this new normal, dynamic culture assessments can help in restructuring work practices and schedules that accommodate new constraints of employees. It would be important to understand how culture evolves in the remote settings and how do we address that. For example, something like toxic work environments can translate in remote and online interaction settings as well.
Finally, it is important to consider the caveats of such technologies before they're deployed. In terms of privacy, designers and operators of such technology need to ensure that both data collection and assessments are fair, transparent, and privacy preserving. As person centric applications, stakeholders should be aware that these approaches cannot exhaustively describe the context of all workers, as these individuals are no longer confined to uniform work settings. And lastly, in terms of representation, the insights of such technology should be complemented with different sources of information so that it is not biased only to those who have access or engagement with certain technologies. With that, we conclude our presentation. Thanks a lot for listening.